Okay, in the studio's defense, when else are you going to release a zombie movie that trudges slower than The Walking Dead other than the dead of January where seemingly good ideas go to die? Unless she gets cast in the biggest movie since E.T., Daisy Ridley is only going to be known as Faux Skywalker, which is such a shame because J.J. Abrams started mining for that talent that he saw in her in The Force Awakens. Then Rian Johnson made such a mess that when J.J. Abrams came back to do damage control, there was nothing he could do to save the cast's careers. If the Star Wars sequels did anything right from the start, it was the casting. I like John Boyega, Jason Isaacs, thank God for Frankenstein, and I really like Daisy Ridley. From the beginning, they all got the assignment. Unfortunately, the assignments given to them a third of the way through their Star Wars tenure was utter and total Tauntaun shit. Now, I've been rooting for that cast, especially Daisy Ridley, even though the Star Wars execs are hell-bent on crushing their careers into dust. Now, in We Bury the Dead, Daisy Ridley does bring her A-game. I'm glad to see her back, and I know this isn't her first project since The Rise of Skywalker, but I'm glad to see she's still acting, and she's still getting picked up for projects, because I know that whole Star Wars experience turned her really sour against Hollywood, and who can blame her? But unfortunately, she just hasn't been cast in anything good yet. To put it plainly, We Bury the Dead has a plot that's thinner than the skin on a zombie's eyeball. Daisy Ridley is searching for her husband in an apocalyptic landscape where zombies have taken over, and she meets a couple people along the way. The issue I have is that there's several things they set up at the beginning of the movie that don't go anywhere. Like, they keep saying that some people can come back from being a zombie, which I assume means some lucky people can return to non-violent human form. But that's never shown. And over again, the movie keeps cutting back to Daisy Ridley dancing with her husband at an event. I'm not sure how that played into the movie. I'm sure the filmmakers had some metaphorical idea wrapped into that image that just wasn't explained. At least it wasn't explained enough for me to understand the connection. I need to have things spelled out for me like I'm a 5-year-old. And if you think the plot sounds boring, that's because it is. And it's highly forgettable. If I hadn't written down what movies I've seen so far this year, which is only like 3, I would have completely forgotten I saw this movie. Somebody asked me how the dinosaurs looked in Primitive Evil because that's the only reason he wants to go see a dinosaur movie, which is fair. So how do the zombies look here in We Bury the Dead? The zombies here, they look pretty cool. But take that with a grain of salt because they usually always look cool. It's like you can't mess up a quesadilla. Inherently, cheese and tortillas go really well together. Likewise, zombies just inherently look really cool. Like if my kids wanted to dress up as zombies by applying makeup to their faces and they hunch their shoulders just right and then they tilt their heads just like so, and I mean, that could be pretty freaky. Now, maybe I'm jaded, but there was nothing in this movie that I would call even remotely scary or intense. And this is important. Before I give my final score, IMDb says We Bury the Dead is rated R for strong violent content, gore, language, and brief drug use. First off, how does brief drug use qualify for an R rating? Here's an idea for you, MPAA. How about replacing brief drug use with prolonged sequences of attempted grapes? I'm trying to say algorithm friendly. Hopefully you can pick up on what I'm trying to say here. I think the MPAA needs to be responsible for highlighting those sorts of events and movies, since those scenes can be really triggering for some people. So I'm just letting you all know that that's in here. The more you know. Now, as much as I want to support Daisy Ridley's career as an actress, I wouldn't be doing my job as a movie critic if I didn't tell you to throw this old zombie movie at the very bottom of your watch list. So just saunter on like a zombie, folks. There's nothing to see here. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe so that I can see you in the next video.